Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rebecca and today I am going to show you how I made these DIY ombre curtains. To start, you definitely need to have a bucket that can hold enough water and dye to cover your curtains. You will also need cotton curtains for this project because I am using RIT dye. Definitely follow the directions that are on the dye that you decide to use for your project. The directions for mine said I had to make sure the fabric was damp before I put it in the dye, so that is what I started with. I took both cotton panels out of their packaging and brought them to the sink. Next, I took a medium-sized saucepan and I boiled some water on the stove. This dye said to use boiling water, so definitely keep that in mind when you are choosing your container. The dye also suggested adding some salt to help make the color more vibrant, as well as adding a little bit of a dish liquid in there. So I am just using your everyday salt and a little squirt of Dawn dish soap and mixing that around in my bucket. Once you've done that, now would be the time to put on some rubber gloves if you have some. That way your hands won't be stained by the dye. Again, follow the directions for the dye that you are using, but the instructions for mine said to add about half the bottle. Then I gave it another stir before adding in the first section of the fabric. To do the ombre, you are going to want to do small sections at a time. If you would like, you could tie off or put a pencil mark on the sections, but I decided that I was just going to estimate, so I did about 5 sections total for this project. The first section is going to end up being the darkest, so keep that in mind. I decided I wanted the darkest part of the curtains to be at the top. I did both panels at once so that I wouldn't have to do a second bucket full, and then I let that sit for 15 minutes before adding some more water to dilute the color a little bit before moving to the next section. Adding the water will help to lighten the color, and the first section will be the darkest spot because it will be the section that has been in the dye the longest. We are slowly adding all of the fabric into the dye. Make sure to spread out the fabric to prevent little air bubbles that would cause any white spots or blank areas to be in the fabric. And make sure all the areas you want to have dyed are submerged in the liquid. Repeat these steps of letting the fabric sit in the dye for 15-minute intervals and then adding in some more water to dilute the dye until you have reached the last section of your fabric. Once you have reached the last section of your fabric, you want to bring the fabric back to the sink to rinse off before drying it. The directions for my dye said I could put the fabric through the washing machine by itself if I wanted to, but I didn't want to lose any of the color, so I put it straight into the dryer once I was done rinsing it. You want to make sure that you rinse the fabric until the water runs clear. And once the fabric is dry, you can hang them up and enjoy your new curtains. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!